Hello everybody and welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall, where we are oh, hey. Let's load the DVD labeled Watch Me. Soft ring sound. Oh wait, that's going to be the yeah, Green Winters again. We don't need to rewatch any of that. What's the second DVD? Oh? Okay. Alright, Green Winters. Alright. Alright. As I said in my last recording, I've been having some trouble finding hard facts on Firefing, so I thought I'd open things up a bit. Let's see what the rumor mill has to say. Screen jumps and Winters reappears in a different location. He's now clutching a mug of soy calf in both hands and there are bags under his eyes. Well, that was enlightening. Assuming that any of it was true, that is. So, for the past 5 hours, I've been poking around some of the crazier fringe theories related to dragons in the SOX. As a reminder, the SOX is in the radiated wasteland between France and Germany. Got zoned off back in '08 after the Cat-Non-Gal reactor meltdown. Anyway, there are all kinds of rumours floating around about the place. I've heard stories about a walled city in there that operates on a survival of the fittest, kill-or-be-killed basis, sort of like the nightmare version of Berlin. All of the anarchy, but none of the stability that the F-state provides. The radiation poisoning, cancer, and mana pollution are just the icing on the cake. So when Adrian helped the Luftwaffe shoot Firefing down, she crashed into the SOX. That much is well known. What isn't as well known are all the modern day myths that have risen about her since. And tonight, I've heard no frill. Chatted up a girl who claimed to be a ghost rat. As a smuggler that operates in the SOX, she told me about a dragon cult called the Disciples of the Cleaning Fire. Apparently, these cultists worship some sort of radioactive ghost dragon. Could be Firefing, could be nothing, but it's worth digging into all the same. Another thing that my little ghost rat told me, popular rumour in the SOX is that Firefing's astral form was, I guess you'd say, mutated by all the background radiation. Some of the glow punks out there say that she'd shed her body like an old coat. Others say that she's trapped, doomed to languish as an intangible radioactive ghost. Don't know how much credence to give any of this. After all, don't have any proof that my ghost rat is even a ghost rat. She might be, but then she could also be a run-of-the-mill glow punk. Or maybe she's just yanking my chain, and she's never been into the SOX at all. Who knows? Well, it's food for thought anyway. Don't know whether the thought of some radioactive ghost dragon thing is any scarier than a genuine dragon is, but it's interesting all the same. Now the big question is, will any of this get me any closer to finding Adrian? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, but you never can tell. Whoops. It's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. Oh, cool. It's probably not entirely meaningless, actually, but the screen goes black for a moment. Green Winters appears on the screen. 2054, 11, 12. Alright. Let's continue thinking outside the box. After the Dragonfall, the great dragon Kultenstein came flying into the SOX to rescue the Firewing, but he was driven off, some say killed, by Lofweir and Nebelherr. So, what if there's another dragon involved in all this? He grabs a thick leather-bound tome from a shelf behind him, licks a finger, and begins to leaf through it. Alright, so let's run down the list of major dragons that could be up in there. First, there's the Golden Worm, no fair. The CEO of Cider Krupp, and quite possibly the single most dangerous being on Earth. Not Fire's a local boy, so he'd be in a position to help Firefing. He certainly has a financial capability to help her. He could send a small army into the SOX if he wanted to. So he's definitely got the means, but can't see how he'd have the motive. He actively prevented the Firewing's rescue back in 2012 after all. Same thing is true for Nebelherr, so let's scratch both of them off the list. He flips the page, frowning. We've got Aiden, the Great Suresh. He's operating out of Turkey. By all accounts, he's not a fan of Lofweir. They're actively competing for territory in the Middle East, so I suppose that could be considered a motive. Reviving the Firewing might cause some problems for the Golden Worm, but would he risk a war with Cider Krupp by straying onto Lofweir's territory? Again, I don't think it's likely. Turns another page. There's Kildare, out of Wales. He's pretty heavily invested in Transys Neuronet, so he's got the money. But he's too busy dealing with the PTL killer, scandal that Transis is going through out in London to get his claws dirty in the SOX. Dunkelzahn on the UCAS. He pauses, shakes his head, slams the tome shut. No, this is a waste of time. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. The Fire Wing is acting alone. Dragons don't cooperate unless they absolutely have to. I think I'm changing his accent too now. Like, again, everybody can tell when there's been a jump in my recording times here. After all, why bother making nice with your equals when you got an entire planet full of pawns at your disposal? They don't need to work together. They have us to exploit. There we go. I think that's what I wanted. File's partially garbled. You can recognize a few words here and there, but they're interspersed amidst a solid block of corrupted text. Vauclair, still my big brother. Still searching for. Firewing. Swear to. Alien. I will find you. If it's the last thing I do, I'm getting too old for this. Not getting any closer. I swear to Ashen. New research. Turning up. Don't know who. Cool. Interesting. Meaningless assortment of ASCII characters. Again. I wonder if we can, and text, let's see, 6. The Dragonfall DVD. Crackle of static fills the air, followed by the same now familiar electronic whine. A few moments later, display goes live. Vauclair looks haggard. His eyes are heavily bagged and bloodshot, and his hair is mussed. I mean, it looks pretty okay to me. Enemy, it's me. I can't sleep. Don't know where you are. Out having fun, no doubt. Maybe flirting with one of those unattainable beauties that you're always chasing. He tries on a smile, but it quickly disappears. He takes a drag on a cigarette. That's good. I want you to live a pleasant, normal life. After all, one of us should. Vauclair rubs his eyes. I can still smell the smoke on me. It's been a year later, and I can still taste the stench of burning corpses. When I sleep, I can hear the sirens and the screams. There's no sound in this world as horrible as a burn victim's screams. The doctors would call this PTSD, I'm sure. They'd have me in therapy, maybe dose me up on SSRIs, like they do to our veteran soldiers. He chuckles and takes another drag. Great story for tabloids, great dragon slayer. Adrian Vauclair, mentally incapable of wrestling with his own demons. Shakes his head. No therapy for me. Certainly no medication. I have a reputation to live up to, however poorly deserved it is, and however little I want it. He pauses, stubs out a cigarette. The dragon's still alive for me. Of that, I'm certain. One day, I'll find her, and then, perhaps, I'll be able to sleep through the night. Okay. I don't actually remember where we got that second DVD from, but cool. So let's go talk to Paul. Hi, Paul. What you got? Kira, welcome back. I have news for you. In your absence, I've been looking into the Harfeld Manor. Whatever Firewing is up to is both large-scale and well-funded. I've uncovered a money trail leading from holding companies all over the world to an offshore fund with a dummy address. From there, all of that freshly laundered money flows directly onto the Harfeld estate. Why would a dragon have investors? How much money are we talking about here? I can't name an exact figure, but we're talking about a lot of money. In the millions of new yen, most certainly. Whatever the Firewing is planning, she has access to all the resources she'll need to carry it out. But Firewing was different. She didn't scheme or plot. Harfeld Manor reeked of wealth. True, but at the very least, this information helps to establish where all of that money is coming from. I'll continue digging into this while you and the team tackle your next run. With luck, I'll have more information to share upon your return. Sounds good. One last thing. Melly was able to restore the readable surface of one of Winters' DVDs. I'd like you to take a look. You'll find it sitting beside the player. I already did. Just one of them? She's still working on the others. Many of them are extensively damaged, and getting anything off of them is proving to be quite a chore. She's told me that she'll be in touch if and when she makes any headway. Thanks. Yeah, we already checked that out. Unless there's a third one there now. Pretty sure that's the, yeah, that's where the second DVD came from. Okay, cool. Do we have any updates on you guys? You really came through for me, boss. Me, boss? You ever need anything from me? Yeah. Anything at all? You call on me. I'll come running. Yeah, how's Alexander holding up? He's a good kid, that nephew of mine. Give him some time, he'll shake Styles programming. It might take a while, but he'll just life here in the Curse Bazaar. In the meantime, I'll find a good home for him. Samuel's agreed to take him in. Is that wise? Samuel's employees have no love for humanists. Most of them don't even like humans. The best thing for a kid would be to learn through immersion. If he stays with Samuel's group, they'll have no choice but to interact with metahumans. Soon enough, he'll learn that they're no different than anyone else. First few days will be rough, no question. But I'll make it through. And come out the other side a better man for it. I don't doubt that you're right. Dietrich claps you on the shoulder. You're a good woman, boss. On to other things. Remember what I was telling you, back before we climbed into the van. You were saying that the Dragon Slayer was happy and you'd be given a reward. That's right. Thanks to our, let's not mince words, heroic actions back in that swine pit. The Dragon Slayer has seen fit to grant me his favor. His grin widens, and now I know what that means, and what I can do with it. Well, don't keep me in suspense. He gestures at the ground near his feet. This. As you watch, the spot that Dietrich's pointing at begins to glow. Lines of force spread out in a scintillating web. Ooh. And a feeling of raw power suffuses your body. I've just torn open a channel between myself and the Dragon Slayer. And that power that you feel is his power, pouring through the aether and into that spot. If you're familiar with ley lines, it's the same basic concept. I consecrate a patch of ground, and as long as I stand in that spot, all of my magic gets stronger. Crosses his arms over his chest. Not bad, eh? Can someone else benefit from one of these channels too? He shrugs. Don't see why not. Like I said, it's basically a ley line. As long as you're on the Dragon Slayer's good side, I don't see why he couldn't use it. My idol, he isn't stingy with his gifts. Anyway, boss, I want to keep fiddling with this, learning to properly control it. And I'm sure that you've got things to do as well. You take care of whatever else needs to be doing, and by our next run, I'll be ready to use this. Sounds good. Take care. You too, boss. Cool. So he's got new ability. That's awesome. Iger. As you approach, Iger turns to face you. Her rifle has been field stripped and is lying in pieces on a sheet of butcher paper. Arranged in a neat row along the edge of the paper are bottles of copper solvent, bore cleaner, and lighter fluid. Our fearless leader returns. What do you need? Any thoughts about that last run? After all the moral ambiguity that we've been wading through, hitting Humanus was incredibly satisfying. What they had planned makes my blood boil just thinking about it. The thoughts of Stahl lying dead on the ground brings a smile to my face. I hope that he enjoys rotting in hell. I'd like to hear about your time in the KSK. She shakes her head. No, I'm not in the habit of sharing war stories. Not with people who've never served. It doesn't have to be a war story. You think I wouldn't understand? I just want a better idea of who I'm running with. She looks you in the eye for a moment. Finally, she shrugs. Alright, you win. I owe everything to my time in the KSK, from my street name on down. So, you tell me what you want to know, and we'll see where this goes. Tell me how you got your street name. Back when I was in basic training, a fellow recruit made a vulgar joke at my expense. He said that I reminded him of the north face of the Eiger in the Bernese Alps. Huge and beautiful, but dangerous to climb. His tone left little doubt as to what sort of climbing he had in mind. I think he was trying to proposition me in his clumsy way, poking me in front of the other recruits to try to provoke a reaction. She shrugs. Anyway, he got one. I broke 3 of his ribs, and the name stuck. Remind me not to proposition you. Served him right. Iger regards you with a critical eye. You might actually mean that, but then you may just be trying to get on my good side. Anyone who'd use the line that bad deserves to get smacked around a little. She nods. For once, we're in complete agreement. But there was more to it than that. As soon as that idiot made his little joke, it was a foregone conclusion that I was getting saddled with the nickname Iger. My only choice in that matter was whether it happened under his terms or under mine. If I hadn't broken that twit's ribs, the name Iger would have been a difficult sexual conquest to a whole barracks full of recruits. That's what I would have been to them from that point on. My own accomplishments be damned. Thanks to what I did, my new name meant the troll who doesn't take shit from anyone instead. It's a name I'm proud to go by, and I've hung on to it ever since. Iger pauses for a moment and looks you in the eye. A word of advice to you, Kira. If anyone ever puts you in the position that he put me in, if he demeans you in front of your unit, whatever his intent, the appropriate response is to put that person down. Hard. Out in the field, nothing will kill you faster than losing the respect of your team. By that logic, I should have broken your ribs after Monica died. Oh! Do we want to get sassy? Let's get a bit sassy. In your place, I would have. She looks you up and down, appraising you. Not that you'd have succeeded if you tried, but in terms of saving face, it would have done wonders. In all seriousness, Kira, I'm sorry that I put you in that position. I shouldn't have, and I acknowledge that. She straightens. Need anything else, or can I get back to prepping for our next run? Tell me about your team? She nods. Fair enough. I guess that you've earned it. There were 8 of us, 2 commando squads working together as a single unit. Schmidt and Lang were combat deckers. Wolf was our rigger and combat engineer. Fisher handled demolitions. Braun was a medic, and the rest of us, Metzger, Kruger, and myself, were weapons experts. Oh no! Our mission was extraterritorial, technically illegal, but important enough to justify the risk. We'd been sent across the border into Poland. The Russian mafia had set up a cottage industry and human trafficking all along the Oder-Neisse line, and it was our job to disrupt it. Sounds more like a police action than a military operation. I wish I had etiquette for security. Go on. We were a good team, experienced. We went through a lot together, and we chalked up a lot of kills. In our own way, I'd like to think we did some good. Who's in command? Metzger, the best leader I've ever had the pleasure of serving under. Her face clouds. He was a hell of a man. But he went down with the rest of the team, and everyone but me. What happened to them? No, that's one story I won't be telling. They died, that's all you need to know. Thanks. No more questions, thank you. Sure thing, fearless leader. Good talk. Thanks. What about you? How are you holding up? Don't worry about me, I'm solid. Okay, if you say you're good, you're good. You want to open up? Yeah. Sure, I understand. But I still need to talk to you. Ask your questions, but do it quickly. I have things to do. You seem guarded, withdrawn. That's my problem, and none of your concern. If whatever happened to you has impaired your ability to trust me, I'm leader of talk to me, I can help. Come on. Yeah, come on, talk to me. Trust is earned, and I don't know you yet. Maybe later, when we get to know one another better, we can talk. For now, I'd prefer if you dropped it. Okay, what's with the vintage chrome? It was cheap. It gets the job done. She shrugs. End of discussion. Voluntarily install cyberware though for conversation isn't over until I say it is. I've never met anyone who'd voluntarily install cyberware that old. You're right. There's more to it than I'm letting on, but I'm not interested in talking about it. Okay. Alright. So you're gonna be a tough cookie to talk to, apparently. Anything in there? No? Alright. Actually, we can pull up the... Hey, we have an unread message. What's this? Hijacked shipments from Metbach Gennady. If you value new hardware coming onto the cruise bazaar, we need to talk. One of my weapon shipments was hijacked by a local gang. I can promise 500 new yen. If you can recover the shipment, I'll have some new gear on the shelf. Where's Metbach? I don't remember where Metbach is. Claim payment for the Humanist data steal. Sure. Submit the job is finished and await your client's response. Cool. Here's your payment as promised. We only got 3,750. Oh, okay, there we go. Deductions from crew salary, ammunition and resupply costs, automatic deduction for Alice funds. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So that's our... Oh, cool. Can we, The MK6 prototype extraction. Amsel's face winks onto the screen. Kira, here you'll find a complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Schmidt, a potential client. As you will see, the details of the job are a bit more vague than I would like, but the payout is quite substantial. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified and I'll make all necessary preparations for the run. One other thing, Herr Schmidt provided me with a device to assist you on the run. He calls it a little black box, of course. Apparently, it can be used to compromise the power and security systems of the run site. If you opt to take the job, be sure to take it with you. Glowing blue text field begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. Greetings, Herr Ramsel. I trust that this connection is secure. Naturally, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Call me Herr Schmidt. Very well, Herr Schmidt. You have some business for me? Indeed, I have a job for your team. A simple matter. Judging by what I've heard of your team, I imagine they will be well suited to the task. Go on. The interests that I represent have learned that AG Chemic Europa is working on a company-wide project, something very secret, very new. Reliable sources inform me that they're keeping a working prototype of this new venture at their Berlin facility. I see, and your employers wish us to acquire this prototype for them. Naturally. What is this project? If you want my team to grab the prototype for you, they'll need to know what they're looking for. I'm not at liberty to say. I can tell you that the prototype has been branded MK6. I can also tell you that your team will find it on the 25th floor of the Berlin facility in the office of one Albrecht Hasshofer. Further, I can assist your team in disabling building security and getting access to the 24th floor. From there, however, they'll be on their own. Such vagueness can be dangerous, Herr Schmidt. I'll not commit my team to a run without better understanding of what the job entails. Facing such dangers is the purpose of a Shadowrunner, Herr Ramsel. Your team will be rewarded handsomely for their services. My employers have set aside 20,000 new yen for the job. Consider it hazard pay if you wish. Make it 25,000 new yen or look somewhere else. 22,500 new yen. Final offer. Very well. I'll pass your offer on to my team. Are there any further details you can provide? Hasshofer's office will be locked beside a vault's door. The lock is old-fashioned, of the mechanical variety. I'll provide your team with a copy of the key. I'll also supply you with a little black box, a solid-state device that your team can use to override a variety of building systems. Your team will enter through a facility's underground garage. When your team has acquired the MK6, have them exit through the same garage. What's K? Because I know M is 1,000. Is K like 100 or something? I don't remember what it's Roman numerals. Ha ha ha. I'll have a van there waiting to extract them. Thank you, Herr Schmidt. I'll pass your offer on to my team. Good day, Herr Ramsel. Sure. You take a little black box from the desk and pocket. Oh, that was fast. Can I take this as well? Here you will find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Fuch, a potential client. The job seems to be relatively straightforward and the payout's reasonable. One word of caution before you proceed, there are aspects of this run that you might find morally troubling. Be sure to read and understand the specifics of the job before accepting. If you do accept, yeah. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, yeah. Herr Ramsel? Yes, I'm here. To whom am I speaking? You might call me Herr Fuch. Sorry. Very well. Please describe the work that you would like have done. Straight to the point. I like that. Very well. I would like to retain your team's services to clean up a mess. Go on. My employers dispatched a team of operatives to conduct a quiet operation at a local sharing pharma AG lab. Unfortunately, they botched the job. The team was eliminated, but we have reliable information that one of our operatives has been taken captive. If this rogue agent were to spill information leading back to my employers, it could lead to a corporate war. A great many lives could be lost. My employers would like nothing more than to prevent such a tragic turn of events. Ah, I see. And you wish to retain my team's services to tie up loose ends. Exactly. The captive operative is a rigger by the name of Thorvald Enstad. We need him neutralized before he can inform on us to his captors. As Enstad and his team have already put the facility on high alert, stealth will not be an option. Your team will need to shoot its way in, eliminate Enstad, and exit the facility. A straightforward enough task, and well within my team's capabilities. What are you offering in terms of pay? 15,000 new yen. This offer is non-negotiable. Very well, I'll pass the offer on to my team. Very good. Good day, Herr Amsel. Gee, do I want to kill another Shadowrunner? I don't know. Like, one moment. Drinking some water. I mean, it's not like we would need it necessarily. I mean, decline for now. We can come back to it later if we so desire. So yeah, we have 21, 20, and we can deposit 5,000. Oh, cool. So if we get 5,000, we can actually let's see if the Shadowland BBS is anything. Do we have any pay? No. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So let's head out to or if we could talk to Blitz again. Hi there, sir. I'm not gonna be taking you on like many missions because you're a decker and I'm a. I mean, he does have an assault rifle though. Hey, Chief, you need something? Just checking in. You doing all right? His smile widens. Great, Chief. I'm doing just great. It's real nice to be able to wind down and relax for a change. No more worrying about this ganger or that ganger. Oh yeah, I think we've already talked to this. We're happy to have you on the team. Of course you are. What's not to be happy about? I've got some questions for you. Blitz glances wistfully back at the terminal on the table, then turns back with a sigh of resignation. Nah, I suppose, but try to keep it short, okay, Chief? I got things to do. How long were you in the Drogon Keep? I ended up there after the anarchist revolution of 39. I was just a kid back then, too young to realize how good I was, how much money I could have made working the shadows. He shakes his head, a wistful expression on his face. So, being young and dumb, I fell in with the gang crowd. That was that. Why should I trust you? Why wouldn't you, Chief? I mean, just look at me. He does his best to give you a winning smile. I'm a trustworthy guy. Tell me about the gang you ran with. Well, I don't know all that much, Chief. I wasn't a member of gang leadership or anything. I'm not really sure why you care, either. Consider it a test. I need to know where your loyalties lie. He rolls his eyes. I mean, if that's what it'll take for you to trust me, fine. Anything for you, Chief. Well, where to begin? When I first arrived at Drogon Keep, I spent some time taking in the lay of the land. The Schwarzherzen were still a pretty small gang, strictly street level, but I could see they were going places. I did a little pro bono decking for their leader, fat little dwarf named Dieter. Soon enough, I was part of the family. For a drug gang, the Schwarzherzen were decent enough folk. I made a lot of money with them, helped them take the hotel in the first place. We had a lot of good years there. Then Dieter was killed in a firefight, and our happy little family fell apart. Was that when the hotel got attacked? Blitz takes a deep breath, shifts his weight from one foot to another. Not exactly. The Schwarzherzen maintained their hold on Drogon Keep, but the change of leadership was bad news for me. After Dieter kicked the bucket, his second-in-command took over. She was a real piece of work, called herself Leoline Luster. She had a vicious streak a mile long, and she was none too fond of me. Did she turn on you? Immediately. I don't know why. Maybe she felt threatened by my friendship with Dieter back before he ate that bullet. Or maybe she was just jealous of my rugged good looks. Who the hell knows? Point is, she went after me. Vigorously. Within 24 hours of Dieter's death, I had a price on my head. And then the hotel got taken over. So that's what you need to know about the Schwarzherzen. They were a great gang. Powerful gang. I helped to make them that way. Then they had a management turnover and everything went to hell. Blitz rocks back on his feet, his hands in his pockets. That's it. End of story. Anything else you want to talk about? Wait a second, that isn't it. There's some pretty big holes in that story. Come on, Chief, this is all ancient history. Wouldn't you rather talk about the future? The runs we're gonna go on, all the money we're gonna make? Blitz, tell me what happened between Luster putting the price on your head and the hotel getting attacked. Alright, Chief. Fine, if that's what it'll take to make you happy. So I was in a bind, right? The members of the Schwarzherzen who were loyal to Luster were all out for my blood, and none of the others were going to stick their necks out for me. The advantage of being a ganger is protection in numbers. When those numbers turn against you, you've got to get creative if you want to stay alive. What did you do? Blitz taps the plastic out of his data jack. What I had to. Lester declared war on me, so I retaliated. And I won. All without ever firing a shot. That's not an answer. Blitz sighs. You won't be satisfied until I spell it out, will you? Okay, fine. I hacked into Lester's computer and sent all of her information to a rival organization. Remember Frank from the hotel? He was my liaison. They hit the Schwartzers and they hit him hard. Then they took the hotel. And, then they took me. I'll admit that the plan backfired a little. You're a traitor. Served you right for writing out your own gang. I'd probably have done the same. Blitz lets out a sigh of relief. Thanks, Chief. I knew you'd understand. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to what I was doing. He gives you a lazy salute. We'll talk later, I'm sure. And, Chief, I'm glad to be a member of this team. Am I gonna have to watch out for you, like, betraying me at some point in the, future? I hope not, but anyway, I think we're gonna call it here. We spent a lot of time in the safe house there this time, but that kind of happened. It's an RPG. There's a lot of text. So next time we will figure out what run we want to go on. I guess, maybe, probably, sure, why not? So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye.